So, Megan, Xenia, I'm gonna let you have it.
Great. Who should go first?
Megan, go for it.
All right. Let's see if I can successfully share my screen. And let's present. Okay. I have the two screen struggle, so I'm going to try not to look like I'm not looking at you guys. Okay, so my name's Megan Kaplon. I work for the city of Austin, and I work for Austin Resource Recovery, which is basically our solid waste management department, and on the circular economy team, which I won't spend a ton of time going over since we're short here. There we go. So that's our circular economy program. We do a lot of different things. Repair is one of them, and also reuse. So we got into furniture reuse kind of a long muddled road, but basically it started here. So probably most people know that in the city of Austin, we also have the University of Texas at Austin, and West Campus is the neighborhood directly west of the University of Texas. About a third of UT students live in this very tiny, very dense part of town. You've got high-rise apartments, condos, also single-family homes where students and non-students live. So that situation made for a challenge because every summer apartment leases all turn over at the same time, and there's this gap between when students have to be out of their apartment and before they can get into their new apartment. So they were getting rid of all kinds of things that they didn't want to store or couldn't take with them. And this was an absolute public safety hazard and a waste disaster. It was horrible. And here are some photos to provide evidence to that situation. This one's probably the most horrifying. And this was coming out into the road. You know, the city was very motivated to get involved in this issue on a number of fronts. And so the solution that we came up with is called Move Out ATX. And basically we set up donation stations all throughout West Campus during that time at the end of July when everybody is moving out. Typically runs about 4 to 6 days, and we accept all sorts of things. I mean, furniture, toiletries and cleaning supplies, non-perishable food, of course, clothing, household items, and we partner with a lot of different reuse organizations to find those things new homes. So furniture, though, was like the number one thing, the number one reason why we got into this, and definitely the biggest volume and weight material that we deal with. And after COVID-19, we started realizing that things were different with furniture. All of a sudden, our thrift store reuse partners didn't really want that furniture because it wasn't high enough quality. It wasn't really worth their time and floor space to carry. And so we sort of came to this issue or this realization a little bit late because in 2021, one of our reuse partners ended up landfilling a bunch of furniture that didn't meet their new quality standards, and we were not aware of those. So after 2021, we were like, whoa, we cannot do that again. We need to come up with a new solution. And what we decided to do is called the free furniture market. So basically, we have our reuse partners take all of the furniture that's donated at the donation station, and instead of taking it to their warehouses and processing it, they agree to move it for us to this parking lot near campus. And at that location, the public can come in as long as they sign their waiver and don't take more than their max number of things. They can take furniture for free. And that's been really successful. We've rehomed about 650 pieces of furniture in 2022 and this year in 2023. And these are some great pictures from the furniture market the past couple of years. I just love how much they contrast with those previous photos of the chaos near the dumpsters. These, you know, they look put together, they look nice. It's like a shopping experience. It's really cool. And because we started working in this area and have done all these things with furniture, we've started thinking a little bit bigger. And this past, I guess it was late summer, we found out that we received a $4 million grant from the EPA to open up a reuse warehouse. Yes, very exciting. It felt like a very much a long shot when we applied, but now that we have it, we are super excited to get started. We don't have our official notice of grant funds or anything. We haven't gotten our council approval yet, so we haven't put a lot of the details together yet, but we know that It'll be a big warehouse. We will accept donations of furniture, and then we'll rehome them through nonprofits to people who need them. Largely people transitioning out of homelessness or refugee families. These are the sorts of people that we're hoping to help. And then in the future, we have lots of big visions and ideas about how can we start doing workforce development once we have this space, and can we upcycle things that don't really have a life in the form that they're in now, like thinking about filing cabinets, thinking about cubicle walls, because we're the city and we have a lot of surplus stuff like that. So yeah, we have a lot of big ideas. We're excited to see where this can go, and it all started from trying to figure out what to do with furniture in the dumpsters. And that's it for me.
Thank you so much, Megan. I think I'll just go for it.
Yeah.
I cannot start. Okay, so I'll share my screen. And we'll continue a presentation coming from a different angle. So my name is Xenia, and I'm a director at Furniture Repair Bank. It's a nonprofit effort of Zero Waste Washington. So Furniture Repair Bank, at Furniture Repair Bank, we envision a future where furniture waste is eliminated, same as our colleagues in Austin. Repair skills are fostered for generations, and vulnerable households have access to quality furniture. So what we do at Furniture Repair Bank, we rescue furniture from going to the landfill, basically sometimes picking it up from a curbside. We are restoring and repairing it at our brand new warehouse workshop space to then be provided to people who really need that. And those are the three pillars of Furniture Repair Bank: sustainability, community, and equity. And I will just very quickly take you through all those three types of activities, and we have values backing them up. So we collect our furniture from public and partners. So anyone who has furniture items and has a truck can deliver it to our space. At the moment, we don't have transportation. Anticipating your questions, how do we transport that? But we do work with a few volunteers who deliver those furniture items that sometimes they find in their neighborhoods, or just have their neighbors have it. We also work with partners. We work with junk haulers who serve just regular clients. We have quite a few partnerships, and just recently we connected with a platform called Resupply. It's basically a platform that connects junk haulers, furniture donations, and nonprofits. It's a relatively new one. I'll put in the chat who is ever interested in learning more. Yeah, please do so. And we also collect furniture working with municipalities. Just recently, we had our first furniture collection event with City of Kirkland. They advertised it to their public, and we had a box truck of furniture coming to our warehouse right after the collection event. Repair and redesign. When we were initiating this project and piloting it for 2 years in a row, trying to understand how we can make it happen, we learned that furniture restoration can really be scaled. We don't need to have all volunteers skilled. We can actually train volunteers with no prior experience, and we can scale furniture restoration and build those skills in the communities. So we work with public, with general volunteers with no prior experience or particular skills. We're scaling it working with businesses, providing team building activities. We have a team of 20. We divide them into groups, give them very manageable tasks, and guide them through restoration process. This is how we scale it. And of course, everything that we restore is going to people who need it the most. We work with resettlement agencies, shelters, and other organizations who support vulnerable community members. So everything that we do is heading to people who really need it. We also try to track everything that we have, everything that we take, everything that we donate, and all the volunteer hours spent, to then translate it and tell those stories, as Michael mentioned. So we're trying to tell our stories in numbers as well, not only telling stories of real people who we help and who come and participate and volunteer. Those are my contact details, and I'm happy to tell you a lot more about all those different directions, how we started, where we started. We're located in Soto, in Seattle. If you're interested in also coming in and visiting us, please let us know, and we'll be happy to give you a tour. And I have just a few photos of how the repair events look like. This one was just a recent volunteer day of Starbucks. Luckily for us, Starbucks is situated just across the street from us, making it a 5-minute walk for all their teams who travel from all around the nation to the headquarters. So that was the team of supply chain, for example. So 30 people come and we divide them into groups. Some are sanding, some are painting or staining, some are assembling, disassembling. Who are a bit more skilled, we give them tools, we provide them with challenging tasks to restore, assemble, disassemble, cut some wood. And that is the back room. That is our upholstery room. We are on a mission to bring back upholstery skills in possession of our communities. We know it's the most challenging skill in all furniture restoration, and we have a plan. Just also this week, we hosted a team of high schoolers, and they went through a 3-day upholstery training with a virtual trainer, and it's working, and we hope to scale it in the future. So we have a lot of testing happening across the board, developing different partnerships, developing different pathways for furniture restoration to make sure that there is no furniture waste happening in our surroundings. And everything that we do, we will also we will aim to make it very transferable and replicable. So if you're interested in how we do what we do, we're happy to share everything that we learn to make sure that other municipalities and other locations in the nation are able to do the same. Thank you.
Awesome. All right, we have 3 minutes. So does anybody have any burning questions for Megan or Xenia or both? Xenia, I wrote down for myself that I want to have a conversation with you about how you connected with junk haulers in the first place. I also have an idea in my head about working with estate sale people, like people who run estate sales. I'm curious about that.
Yes, I have that experience as well. And I promised a resupply app link. So that's a new platform. They are just moving to Washington State. They were already working with Oregon Community Warehouse, our dear friends, a furniture bank.
So is that for organizations then?
So they are a customer-facing platform. So basically, a customer would land and hire someone to pick up, but it's cheaper than just hiring a junk hauler. If you have just a few items, you don't want to empty the whole space. If you have a sofa or you have a table and 2 chairs. So what the platform does, they create logistics and make sure that the junk hauler collects, for example, it makes 5 stops on the way. So actually, when we piloted our efforts, I did that mapping myself because we collected furniture from public and we had to map the whole city. We have 10 stops, make sure that everything is logical. So that platform does it all automatically. And this way it creates that economy of scale for customers. So they don't have to pay $1,000 for collecting stuff. They only pay like 100, or depending on how much stuff they want to get rid of. So of course it's like maybe it's just a slightly more expensive if they would just get a U-Haul themselves and haul it. But if they add their time, probably that would add up as a comparable amount. And basically, though, that platform is they're partnering with other junk haulers because, like, as we started, I partnered with 3 different junk haulers, and they're our go-to, and they're bringing us furniture sometimes. I was like, oh, like, can you like work with us for that particular project or this? But the resupply, they're just like partnering with many more and creating that liaison. It basically, yeah, we are losing that personal connection with junk haulers, but the junk haulers still delivering us furniture, and we can create that connection anyway.
Nice.
And the platform is pretty open about sharing clients' details if we're using to kind of have the communication cycle with whoever donated furniture. We can connect with them via platform and get their email eventually. So we're not losing that personal connection with our donors. That was my initial concern.
Yeah, that's a good point. I wouldn't have thought of that.
Yeah, because every time, and we've been working with individual donors a lot, and every time they come, we try to give them a tour, we try to engage them, and we make new partnerships and new connections through them. We got like another team building activity through like a donor and volunteers, and so that creating that bond really means a lot. But if we can do somewhat similar with a platform, but optimize that, it helps. And I know we're over time.